have been a reliable source of communication for many people. I've been a place for people to make emergency calls, a place for teenagers to talk to their friends, and a place for people to have a private conversation. My life, however, has not always been easy. With the rise of cell phones, the need for telephone booths has decreased significantly. This is unbelievable. Let's give a very quick, what is ChatGPT? Now, ChatGPT is, my dear friends, based on a company called OpenAI. OpenAI's GPT-3 artificial intelligence. Now, you don't need to know all this information, okay? You don't need to know all this information. All right. Now, however, what it is, it's a language learning model that uses artificial intelligence. And basically, what it is they got a program, software, GPT, basically had it learn everything in the world on the internet, okay? They taught it how to understand language and how to answer using normal language. And they tested it, they tweaked it. It improves over time because it learns every now and then more things. The more you use it, the more it learns, the better it becomes. And they released it for free to the world very, very recently. All right. And let me show you what it can do. Now, just so you know, people, they do have millions of people using this at the same time. So sometimes it might not work. So we're going to try to hope that we're lucky today. So I'm going to give you a few examples that I have just written down. I want you to think what you can ask ChatGPT to do for you as a teacher to help you, or if you're a student, what would you ask ChatGPT to do for you? And you'll be amazed that it can actually replace teachers. So here's one I have. I'm going to read it because it might be small. I'm in 3rd grade and I am having trouble understanding fractions. Please explain and give examples. Okay. And if you can see this, I don't know how small it is. I actually wrote PLS explain. I didn't say please. And I wrote examples without an E. Okay. So I just wrote something that has mistakes. And I click on enter. And here is the magic, my friends. Fractions can be a bit tricky to understand at first, but once you get the hang of it, they're not so bad. Now, first of all, do you see? This is how you would talk to a 3rd grader. Hang of it, not so bad. A fraction is a way to show a part of a whole. The top number of a fraction is called the numerator, and it represents the number of parts you have. The bottom number of a fraction is called the denominator, and it represents the total number of parts in the whole. For example, let's say you have 3 pieces of pizza and you want to share them with your friends. See, so pizza, friends, 3rd grade. Each piece of pizza can be broken into 8 slices, so you have a total of 24 slices. If you want to give 3 slices of pizza to your friend, you can write them as a fraction. You can write that as a fraction. The numerator is 3, between parentheses, the number of slices you are giving away. The denominator is 24, the total number of slices you have. This is written as 3 over 24. Another example, you have 6 apples. Another example, you can also compare fractions. There are also many operations. When adding, do you see what is happening here? Basically, my friends, okay, this is a full explanation of what fractions is to a 3rd grader. Now, a 3rd grader can use this himself or herself and understand, or you as a teacher can use this to make your lesson plan, and you got your examples. All right, look at this. Quiz me. Okay, I'm not going to say about fractions. It just said quiz me. Okay, use word problems. My name is Sarah. My best friend is Clara. There we go. Sure, Sarah, I'll give you a few word problems to test your understanding. Number 1, look at the question. Sarah and Clara are making... Okay, so there's a network error. Oh, God. Okay, let's see. I think I can... You should be able to, yeah, there you go. You should be able to continue on to what you did before. But as I said, there are a lot of people trying this at the same time. Okay, so it was going to say Sarah and Clara are making fruit salad. Sarah told Clara, let's put so and so and so. And that's an actual question. Then you can ask it to give you an answer key. Then you can ask it to explain the answers. All right, so let's move on to another example. Let's see. All right, look at this one. I'm a third grader. I'm in third grade and I like balloons. What are the best books for me to read? Ready, set, go. There are many great books that you might enjoy as a third grader. Here are a few recommendations. Where the Sidewalk Ends by, and then you have the author's name. Then you have a description of what it is. Charlotte's Web, all right? The Magic Tree House. So all these are suggestions of what you can read as a third grader, right? Okay, wait a minute. But I said that I love balloons. Did it give me anything here about balloons? No, it didn't. It gave me some things that really work with third graders. So if you have a third grader, if you're teaching third grade and you don't know what books to tell the parents to have them read, and you can't just get it on the top of your head in a second, all right? These are just a few suggestions. So here, but I want books about balloons or dragons. Okay, let's see. Number one, The Great Balloon Adventure. There you go. Up, Up and Away by Anne Rockwell. Balloons. All right, number three. Let's see what's number three going to be. Dragon's Breath. Did you see? So now I have personalized stories that talk about things I am interested in. Okay, all right. Well, let's say that I want to read How to Train Your Dragon. Can you see this, guys? Or actually, let's just do something that doesn't have a series. So which doesn't, Dragon's Breath. All right. Dragon's Breath. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Dragon's Breath by Janina Ramirez. Okay. Look here. Look here. Summarize Dragon's Breath by Janina Ramirez. And look what you get. You get a summary of the book. So before you read the book, before you purchase the book, you actually get a summary of what the book is about. And then you can decide whether you want to get that book or not. You can ask it to write that summary in bullet points. You can ask it to make a longer summary. You can ask it to make a shorter summary. All right. Now, lots of people are saying, can I use this? How can I use this? Is it available in my country? Wait a minute. I want you to think of what you can do, what you can ask it to do for you, or what your students can. And you need to start writing this in the chat. I'm going to give you one more example that I really, really liked. I tried this last night. Okay. And this is superb. It's actually mind-blowing. But before I do this, let me ask you guys a question really quickly. Who here is a history teacher? Social studies teacher? Do we have history or social studies teacher? Okay, English teachers would work too, but do we have any history or social studies with us? Come on. No? Okay, English teachers? All right. Perfect. Okay, so there you go. Now we have, look at this. You, my super teachers, ask your students to do the following. You ask them to go read an article in archives on archives.gov about the Cold War. You ask your students to read another article on nationalgeographic.com about the Cold War. You ask them to go to Britannica Encyclopedia and read this article about the Cold War. Then you ask them to write 2 paragraphs about the Cold War using this. Look what your student is going to do when he goes home. He's going to go to ChatGPT and say, please use the articles below and the 3 links to the articles that you assigned to write 2 paragraphs on the Cold War. Then he'll click and then he'll wait and look what happens. Look what happens. Can you see this? Can you see this? Yes, you can. This is true. Okay, this is not prearranged. This is not something that it memorizes. It just goes, looks up the articles, understands the articles, and gives you 2 very, very well-written paragraphs about the Cold War. And yes, I did check and it did use the information in the 3 articles. Okay. Can it translate languages? Yes, it can. All right, look at this. Grammar and spell fix the following. Okay, everybody look, please. Look, please. I is happy because my friends come yesterday. All right. Enter. I am happy because my friends came yesterday. All right. What were my mistakes? So it didn't just fix the spelling and grammar. Here are the mistakes in the sentence you provided. The subject I should be capitalized at the start of the sentence. Is should be am because it corresponds to the subject I, which is the first person. Happy should be happy as it is the correct spelling. Commend should be comed should be came as it is the correct form of the verb. Yesterday should be yesterday as the correct spelling. So what are you going to do as teachers if it can do all this? All right, you guys help me out. So I'm going to take some prompts from you. So everybody in the chat, please. Can you please do something relevant to your subject? So think of an assignment that you gave your students recently, okay? And write it down here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it here and I'm going to see what it's going to do. Come on. And for those of you who are attending this as a video, please try to wow yourselves with what the teachers here are going to be suggesting for us. Okay, or you can open ChatGPT yourself. Now, it is not available in all countries right now, but it will be, okay, very soon. And it will be part of search, so it'll be part of Bing and maybe Google in the future. It will be something native to everything on the internet. So we're all going to be using this in just a few months, all right? Don't worry. Okay. Okay, so here we have Miss Marwa is saying this here. So explain... Explain suffix and prefix for grade 4. Now, I do have a question really quickly here that I want to answer. Somebody's saying, wouldn't this be plagiarism or a shortcut for students instead of doing their work themselves? Of course. So that's why we as teachers need to change. We need to change the way we give homework. We need to change the way we assess our students. We need to work with them individually. We need to test them in class. We can't just give them homework because they're going to give us very good answers every time. Okay. And it's not plagiarism, by the way, because every one of you, if you ask ChatGPT the same questions I asked, they will give you different answers every time. It's not like something fixed. It thinks. Okay. There you go. See, here's an explanation of prefixes and suffixes. All right. Okay. Give examples of prefixes using the I don't know if that would work. Using the words in any Shakespeare poem. I don't know if that works or not. Wow. One example of a prefix can be found in the poem Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day by William Shakespeare. The line, rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, contains the prefix un, as in unshake. Here, shake is the root word, and the prefix un changes the meaning. Another one is in Sonnet 18, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, thou art more lovely and more temperate, contains the prefix more and more lovely. I don't know if more is actually a prefix or not, but there you go, more and more and more, okay? Now, it can make mistakes, of course, but it can give you something to work on, all right? Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, all right, okay. Okay, so we have Miss Sarah who teaches kindergarten, and here's her question. How can I introduce verbs to kindergartners? Introducing verbs to kindergartners can be fun and engaging. Here are a few ideas. 1, use actions and gestures. When teaching new verbs, use actions and gestures to help children understand what the verb means. For example, when teaching the verb jump, you can demonstrate the action of jumping and have the children mimic you. Use real life examples, and that is very important. When you're teaching young kids, you have to relate everything that they're learning to real life, to things they use and see every single day. This way it will stick, okay? You can't just use the abstract, okay? Provide children with examples of verb action from their everyday lives. For example, you can say, we are walking to the park, or I am eating my lunch. As you are doing the action with them, you stress on the action, which is the verb, and so on. All right? There you go. Okay. All right. So now we have Mr. Gamal, who is asking a very complicated question. He's saying, what are the positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia? Now, this question can give you a very complex answer because it will basically give you a psychology answer. But we're teaching students. So let's say to explain to my 10th grade psychology class. Okay, let's see. There you go. There are two main types of symptoms, positive symptoms and negative symptoms. Positive symptoms are those that reflect an excess or distortion of normal functions. These include delusions, hallucinations, with examples, with bullet points. Mr. Gamal, what do you think? How much time would you need to actually write this down yourself? Okay, negative symptoms, all of this, it's giving you examples for everyone. It has those bullet points. You can ask it to number them for you. You could ask it to give you more examples. You could ask it to give you scenarios using the names of the students in your class. Tailor teaching, people, tailor teaching. Ask it to give you, make a lesson plan, make your sheets, your notes, your book to contain the names of each and every one of the students in your class as examples of different scenarios where we can see the positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia. What do you think? If you like this, say you like it. If you're scared that this can do your job, say you're scared. Okay. All right. So we have Ms. Shireen, who teaches grade 4 and 5, wants to know how to rename fractions. Okay. How to explain renaming fractions to grade 4 students. Explaining renaming fractions to grade 4 students can be done in a simple and visual way. Here are a few steps. 1, start by reviewing what a fraction is. Okay. So that's very important. And remember, as teachers, and this is because that's what I do, so I just need to say this. As teachers, you always need to revise on the information that students need to know before introducing the new concept. There you go. How do you like that? Now, if you ask the same question and say for 10th grade, for example, it will give you a different answer. That does work with 10th grade. Okay. All right. So here's a question that I definitely don't know anything about. I have no idea what that means, but let's see. So Ms. A is saying, track diabetes disease in your family according to your genetic analysis. And then I'll add, for example, how. I don't know if that works. Ooh. Okay. It did work. It's explaining how to track diabetes in your family according to genetic analysis. I didn't know that. Okay. All right. So here's a very, very, very interesting one. And let's see if it can do it or not. So Ms. Shayma is saying, write an essay about your life. So I think that's an assignment she gave her students. If you're a telephone booth, so imagine you're a telephone booth, you know, that box, the street that has a payphone, 4 to 6 paragraphs. So I'm going to make this 3 paragraphs. Okay. So we can see what it's going to do. As a telephone booth, my life is quite simple and uneventful. I stand in one place, providing a service to those who need it. I am a constant presence in my designated area. I have been a reliable source of communication for many people. I have been a place for people to make emergency calls, a place for teenagers to talk to their friends, and a place for people to have a private conversation. My life, however, has not always been easy. With the rise of cell phones, the need for telephone booths has decreased significantly. This is unbelievable. Okay, look at the 3rd paragraph. Despite the changes, I am content with my life. I am proud to have been a reliable source of communication for so many years, and I am happy to continue serving my community in whatever way I can. I am a symbol of bygone era, a reminder of a time when communication was not as instant as it is today, and I am honored to have played a small but important role in so many people's lives. Oh God, that's amazing. So, thanks. That is Super. You're welcome. Okay. So we have another math. We already did math. Let's see something here that's different. Okay. Write a paragraph to compare and contrast dolphins. Okay. Grade 1. Sharks and dolphins are both animals that live in the ocean. They are different in many ways. Sharks are big fish with sharp teeth and a pointy nose. They have a fin on their back called a dorsal fin that helps them swim. Dolphins are also animals that live in the water, but they are mammals. They have a smooth nose and they breathe through a blowhole on the top of their head. They have a fin on their back too, but it's called a dorsal fin and it's round and curved. All right. Now, rewrite for grade 12 biology. Both aquatic animals, distinct differences in their anatomy, behavior, ecology, cartilaginous skeleton, pointed snouts, propulsion, stabilization. Do you see that? Apex predators. Different niches within aquatic ecosystems. These are found in open ocean habitats, solitary, found in small groups. Can you see how different it is when you ask it to write something for first grade or for 12th grade? Okay. All right. And Mr. Gamel is a psychology teacher, so that's why he asked us this hard question. Okay. Okay, here's one. I'll write this down and then I'm going to skim through the rest. So this is from Ms. Selma. What are the 7 figurative language and can you give examples? So we didn't say figurative language what, okay? And we just said 7. Let's see if it gives us 7. Oh, 1, simile. It gives us a definition of simile and it gives us examples. All right. Yes, Ms. Shireen, it includes everything we just tried together. Okay. And we have a chemistry question from our chemistry teacher. So here's one that we can use. All right. Now, I have a quick question. Somebody's asking, where does it get the information from? Basically, ChatGPT or GPT-3, which is the name of the AI, has been trained. It basically read every single book ever written. It read everything on the internet. It has information of everything ever written up till 2021. All right. Now, as we move along, it will become more updated. It will become smarter. It will become better. All right. Perfect. So here's a chemistry question. Explain the difference between chemical reactions and nuclear reactions for grade 6. Okay, so it's just a little bit simple. All right. Now, while you guys read this, somebody's asking me a really good question, and we know how amazing and helpful this is. Yes, it can translate. It's scary. It's brilliant. All right. It's super. But what is negative about it? Well, what is negative about it is if you use it in a negative way, which is basically if you as a teacher don't understand what you have here. Okay, let me just stop sharing for a moment. Teachers, beware. What are we talking about today? We're talking about how you have to become a relevant teacher in the future by learning how to individualize the teaching, tailor the teaching for your students, how you need to communicate with parents, how you need to learn the learning style, because this is what you will be able to do effectively. But if you don't do that, if your only goal is to give the information and then mark tests or quizzes, you won't survive. Why? Because basically what will happen is you as a teacher will have someone who can explain, or something who can explain better than you, which is the AI, and you'll have students who can basically take homework at home, put it into ChatGPT, give you a flawless answer, and you'll have to give him or her 100%, and that's it. And sooner or later, we'll all figure out that this isn't really the level of the student and that you're not doing your job. So you'll leave school, and then we're going to bring another teacher who knows how to use this. Okay. So what is negative is if you just let it go, if you just ignore it. This is what's negative, because all your students are going to give you essays that are all very well written. They're all going to give you perfect answers to all of their quizzes and their homework. And then when you test them in front of you in class, they'll do really, really poorly. And then you'll be stuck. Okay. You'll be kicked out of school because basically your class will always fail because they're not learning anything. So you need to incorporate this in your teaching. You need to ask them to use this as a tool and to explain how they used it, why they used it, what they think of the answer, how they can get more than one answer, compare the answers that ChatGPT gave them in 2 different times, and explain to you the difference and what they think and so on. So you need to embrace this technology, and you need to be a tailor for the individual teaching, or else, I mean, basically it can do anything you can do, and it will probably do it better. Okay, so a couple more examples. I know it's late. I don't want to keep everybody here. So here's one. All right. Oh, we already did this one. All right. Okay. So let's see if I have something here that's different. Okay. So we have a physics teacher who is asking about compare the theories of spherical and flat planet Earth, grade 5. Okay. And there you go. You have 2 main theories about its shape, spherical theory and flat theory. What is the spherical theory? Here's what it is. What is a flat theory? Here's what it is. Okay. Now, do we have any computer teachers here? Any ICT teachers here? Do we have any programming teachers here? Do we have any computer teachers? Yes, we do. All right, perfect. Now, ChatGPT actually excels, Ms. Mahan, Mr. Wael, in something that is going to be amazing to you, okay? Basically, you can ask it to write code for you in a language that you choose to do a particular action, and it will just write that code. And you will copy the code, paste it, and 90% the code is perfect and doesn't need any more tweaking. And if the code has problems, you go copy the code and paste it back into ChatGPT and ask it, what's wrong with this code? Check it for me. And it will check it and it will correct it. This is basically how most programmers are working now, just this past few weeks. This is what they're doing. They're using this to generate the code really quickly, put it in, test it. It either works. If it doesn't, it goes back, it tweaks it, and that's it. So this is changing everything. Yes, it's doing debugging super fast and super effectively. All right. Now, we're done. What do you think? Your jobs are in danger. Not just your jobs, lots of jobs are in danger because this is artificial intelligence as we've never seen before. Till a few months back, artificial intelligence for us was the spell check on our phones, the suggestions in Gmail to continue my sentences, the ads that we see from Facebook, the relevant TikTok videos that we watch, the entertaining YouTube shorts that appear to us, or the reels on Instagram or Facebook. All this is artificial intelligence, but nothing ever has been as good as this. And this is just the beginning, and it's growing exponentially, and it will grow very, very fast. And you, my friends, need to be ready. How? By tailoring your teaching to individual students, by learning how to teach, not what to teach. Because right now, my friends, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, knows what to teach, maybe better than you, but it doesn't know how to teach as well as you. So if you don't learn how to teach, you won't find anyone to teach because you won't be a teacher anymore.